This next story was given to me by Night Terror at Tom Sonsky from Twitter. It's a creepy little tale about a theater of shadows. I'm a former employee of New York's Palace Theater in Times Square. To summarize, I worked as a lighting technician and stagehand, and I can tell you firsthand with absolute certainty that the theater is not only haunted, it's very haunted. I know that's not exactly breaking news. The theater was built in 1913, back when the place only did vaudeville acts, and had a long history of unexplainable occurrences and ghostly sightings. Even today, in 2018, the advertisements claim it to be haunted by more than 100 separate spirits, both of previous performers and employees. Now, I'm not sure how anyone can accurately judge that, given that any ghosts that reside there are never going to line up for a roll call. But regardless of how many there are, I can say with certainty that there is at least one, and he is pissed off. I had a friend who used to work in the theater as a sound technician and would frequently sit in or near the orchestra pit during performances. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this place, the most well-known celebrity spirit that supposedly haunts the palace is Judy Garland, most well-known as Dorothy from the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. That never made much sense to me, as she didn't die in the theater. In fact, she didn't even die in New York. But the theory goes that because she gave her last live performance in the theater in 1967, her spirit was drawn back to it because of the overwhelmingly sensation of feeling alive and happy there on stage. There was a door built especially for Garland in the orchestra pit for her to enter and exit the stage, and my friend is one of several dozen people who had reported seeing her standing there during a live show. Normally it's just, I caught her out of the corner of my eye kind of thing. But according to my friend, he had turned his head to scratch his neck, and he made direct eye contact with her. She made an apologetic face as if to say, "Oh, I'm not on yet," and disappeared back through the open doorway. He said he was so shaken he collapsed into his seat and was unable to calm his breathing for several minutes. Now, as for my own accounts, I never saw Judy Garland, or anyone else I recognize as a golden age film star. But I saw so many figures walking up and down the aisles out of the corner of my eye that I stopped asking my coworkers if they had seen anything. I would just get used to it and ignore it. In fact, I recently went back to the theater in early 2017 with a friend of mine to show him around, and when we were under the stage, I caught movement of something walking alongside us, out of my peripheral vision, but wasn't even surprised or alarmed enough to turn my head. Back in 2010 was when I had the most heart-stopping experience. It was late at night, after hours, and there were only maybe 6 of us in the entire theater. The doors were all locked, and most of the lights were out. I was up in one of the balconies, immediately off stage right. I had my radio in one hand, and was speaking to my partner in the lighting booth. As he was adjusting the lighting on stage, I was getting a sense of how the show would look from this angle. The last thing a paying customer wanted was a light slightly off focus and shining directly in their eye line, or to have something bright and shiny reflecting off the stage back at them. I stupidly had one foot on the balcony railing and was mentally counting the lights, running down a checklist in my head. when I was violently shoved from behind. I distinctly remember 2 hands shoving me hard, with the intention of knocking me forward over the balcony. Because of the position of my body, my left leg was up and my right leg bent. My body jolted forward, kind of sideways. I locked my left knee so my leg wouldn't bend and kind of fell over on my side in the balcony, but not before my radio went flying over the edge into the viewing gallery below. As soon as I hit the floor, there came a deafening scream from somewhere in the catwalks above the stage. The lights flickered, and down below, over the radio, I heard my friend in the lighting booth scream, "What the fuck was that?" I jumped up, much more shaken than hurt, ran downstairs and across the aisles until I found the radio. They were frantically calling my name over and over, apparently unsure of what had happened to me. When I checked in, they asked who had screamed, and I replied I had no idea, but that someone had just tried to shove me off of the balcony. We all met in the security room and spent more than an hour playing back footage from multiple angles, but never even caught a glimpse of a ghostly apparition. I have no idea what happened that night. I know that one of the ghosts that supposedly haunts the theater is named Louis, a tightrope walker who fell to his death during a performance. That might explain the screaming, but not the shoving. I know the palace is a major tourist attraction, and I don't want to dissuade anyone from visiting there and enjoying a show. But please be aware that after buying a ticket, you may just experience more than you bargained for. While it's no wonder a theater would be haunted, you can feel the energy when you visit such places. But I wonder about the menacing acts of the spirits. Maybe the crew didn't leave a ghost light burning.